Saturday, the 18th of October, brought the second batch of No Kings protests across the nation, which the Republicans called the protest of hating America. And what the protests actually brought out was frivolity, fun, large crowds drawn in major cities and smaller turnouts in smaller towns and smaller places, with demonstrators waving signs, wearing inflatable costumes, so that business is going big, and framing the event as pushback against what they describe as rising authoritarianism. Meanwhile, Sunday morning, as I record this on the 19th of October, President Trump answered online with his thoughts on the actual protests, with AI-generated videos showing himself wearing a crown, and in one clip flying a jet labeled King Trump. The posts were meant as a jab at the protesters and are quickly sparking debates on both sides. Now, let's go with the coverage documenting what we had was large, colorful demonstrations, lots of inflatable suits, choreographed chants, and a wide avenue of folks filling lines and signs, and local outlets reporting thousands at state capitals and hundreds of smaller communities having lots of folks being a part of the No Kings protest, underscoring a spread from coast to coast. Now, the last batch we had was on the same birthday of the United States Army, and so in D.C., people were watching, and we were watching in the world, the Trump parade, because it was also his birthday, which was kind of sad, and it drowned out some of the talk about No Kings, especially there in D.C., as there was a counter protest down the street. But the photo shows Washington, Denver, and places like Arizona and Louisiana, peaceful, high-energy crowds out there protesting the No Kings thought process or authoritarianism by the current regime. Or I should say the current administration regime would say there's a king. Organizers say the turnout exceeded similar waves in June through independent counts vary city by city. There's no way to really count them all because they were all over the place, but there were hundreds of places and they overlapped in some cases in various states. And you could have been a part of one just by driving into one. Now to protest, if you will, President Trump posted some amplified AI videos on Sunday, casting him as a crowned ruler and a fighter jet pilot, which makes absolutely no sense together, but it is what AI puts out together. Theatrically dumping sludge on protesters to show his non-support for it. Supporters treated the clips as satire aimed at critics. Opponents called them demeaning and dangerous. The context spread between the two quickly across all platforms. Of course, Truth Social is main fun, but it drew some, let's say, ire and attention if going back and forth. From political figures to just regular folks just saying, hey, what's this guy doing? Using AI to provoke, entertain, or troll is a thing that we all do as personal people. But should the president do it? Well, that's where the question lies. Newsrooms verified that the videos were AI generated. Trump was not flying around planes with crowns on, but not depictions of real events. Nothing that was supposed to actually shadow something out there. Now, reporters on the ground highlighted the mix of free speech celebrations and practical worries, also a lack of color, and we'll leave it at that. Civil liberties groups praised the largely peaceful marches. Some participations voiced some fear of surveillance of what was going on, citing past monitoring controversies. And Reuters particularly noted that some concerns about how agencies might actually track the demonstrators going back, in between, how they're going to see who was at the protest and see what's going on in their actual lives. The AI videos, of course, add another layer to the argument that misinformation and just, the trolling part is the actual key to being the president. But deep fakes, misinformation, and the role of political theater using the AI stuff is also a part of the mix as well. Now, for the protesters, visible nonviolent pressure keeps institutions honest, signals broad dissent, and can shape agendas. The critics of the protesters say that the street theater risks hyperbole and can blur the facts. Crowd estimates and slogans may actually outpace policy standards. Just because a bunch of people showed up and said, yes, let's do this, doesn't mean that the policy is actually going to go away. Now, for people who support Trump and his trolling, satire, fair game, and can puncture what can be seen as performance outrage from both sides. However, many citizens are mocking the monarch, that is Donald Trump, in mocking as a monarch at AI stunts because it trivializes the concerns that they have of the No Kings protests. Is this president taking on more authority than he probably should? And will this affect us down the line, immediately, and down the line for generations if we can't, undo it? Yays, the nays, the ups, the downs, the positives, negatives. Should this guy be wasting our time with AI slop? And should the people be out there running around in frog suits to say what they want to say? The latter part, they have that right. The former part, he has that right. But is it going to mean anything in the grand scheme of things, as it is the 19th of October as I record this? Oh, by the way, we're inside of week 3 of the government shutdown, right now listed as the third largest shutdown in modern times, and no end in sight to reach the beating the biggest shutdown, which went about 45 days since no one's talking. Meanwhile, Trump is tweeting out or truthing out videos, and we're out there protesting in frog suits. This is the world we live in. These are these here United States, and this is what we have to work with. You let me know what we're working with, if it's worth it, in the comments.